What's going on, everybody, man? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Scripture Plug.Albert, man. And today we're getting into reacting to a Useful Charts episode. If you don't know, y'all need to go follow Useful Charts. They're on YouTube. Man, he does amazing when it comes to just breaking down and understanding a bunch of things when it comes to just history. A bunch of things when it comes to history. So y'all need to go check that brother out. Useful Charts. So this is episode 3 for me. I reacted to the first 2 episodes when it comes to learning about church history. So this we're starting to get into the Protestantism now. You know, we talked about Catholicism and Orthodoxy and Coptic, and he broke it down real well in the first 2. It's been a minute since I've seen him now, so hopefully, as we get into it, he kind of does a little refresher so I can get a better understanding. Hopefully, that's the case. But if not, hey, it is what it is. We're just gonna learn together, and that's what this is about for us to be able to learn. Because really, when it comes to the history of the church, when it comes to like Protestantism and the difference between where they broke off and Martin Luther and all that, I'm not really well versed on. So hopefully, this breaks it down. I know it'll break it down. And let's get into it. Let's learn some. Let's have a good time, y'all. So without further ado, we're gonna get up into Useful Charts. Let's get it.
Hi, this is Matt Baker. Welcome to episode 3 in my series on the family tree of Christian denominations. So far in this series, we've looked at the origins of Christianity, as well as its 4 oldest branches: Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy, Oriental Orthodoxy, and the Church of the East. From this point forward, we're now going to shift the focus toward Protestants. We'll start by looking at 3 of the earliest branches of Protestantism: Lutheranism, Anglicanism, and Reformed, all of which arose during the period known as the Reformation. And once again, I'm collabing with Joshua from Ready to Harvest. He has prepared a video comparing these 3 denominations in more detail, along with an even older Protestant group known as the Moravians.
Let me know real quick. So if you do watch, whether it's now or later on when you're coming in, are you Anglican? Are you Lutheran? Part of the Reformed Church? And if so, let me know how accurate this brother is when it comes to the history that he's bringing out.
So after watching this video, be sure to check out his by clicking on the link in the description or pinned comment. Now, one thing I want to point out is that if you're watching this video during the first half of 2023, the chart that I'm showing you is not yet available from our store. That's because I'm basically building it as I go, and I sometimes make changes based on comments that I get. However, the goal is that by the time the series is finished, you will be able to buy the completed chart as a poster.
Well, good thing it's 2024 now. If you want it, y'all go get it. Hey, okay. Let's get it.
So let me begin by showing you a few changes that I made based on comments I received on episode 2. Last time, I incorrectly stated that the Maronite Catholics, Coptic Catholics, and Syriac Catholics all broke away from the Eastern Orthodox Church. The Maronites were actually independent and became affiliated with Rome during the 1100s after the First Crusade. And the Coptic and Syriac Catholics, they broke away from the Oriental Orthodox Patriarchates, not the Eastern Orthodox Patriarchates. Also, I previously had the Georgian Orthodox Church stemming from the Russian Orthodox Church, which is kind of true because eventually they did fall under their jurisdiction for a while. However, they also have very deep roots, going all the way back to the year 1010. So I've changed their position to indicate that origin instead. Also note that I've added dates throughout the chart in order to make the timeline of each church's independence more clear. Finally, I added the Old Believers, who broke away from the Russian Orthodox Church in 1666 because they did not like certain reforms that were made at that time. Okay, let's now talk about the Protestant Reformation, which is usually said to have started in the year 15.
By the way, shout out to this brother right here, man, to let y'all know, to let us know that, hey, I messed up, but I'm correcting it right here. Good for him. Good for him. And I'm with you, DW. I'm, part of the Protestant church. I like to think of myself as a Protestant Catholic. All that. Put it all together. That's what I like to think of myself as because I get and I see where each one comes from when it comes to the main points and the main theology, and I can see where people are at. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Protestant, that's where I'm at, but I definitely enjoy and I can take from and see where the Orthodox Church, the Catholic Church, and probably a lot of these other churches that he's brought up make sense, and kind of where they would have went and why they where they're at today. So, uh, I'm with you there. To cop out, I guess I'll say I'm non-denominational as well, but I definitely enjoy, and I don't have the same issues that a lot of people have when it comes to the different denominations, whether it be Catholicism. I have zero issue with people that are Catholics. And I know, unfortunately, there are people nowadays that just hate Catholics for whatever reason, whether it be church hurt, whether it be just because of what they don't even necessarily know, what they heard from either their pastor or maybe they just heard from, media and things of that nature. But I have no issue with the Catholic Church. A lot of the Catholics that I know, man, solid people, have, great doctrine and believe in the truth. Same with Orthodoxy. I don't know of anybody, who has the Orthodox denomination in the belt that, don't believe the truth. So when it comes to things like that, I have no issues with whatever denomination you are. If you're more traditional in this manner, or you're more, you're sola scriptura or not, as long as you believe in Jesus, that's what I care about. And actually, when I was talking to Brother Guy Logic yesterday about the scenario, or excuse me, not scenario, but situation where he and I both agree, like, we're trying to bring everybody together. We're not trying to, you know, say, oh, well, you're Catholics, you can't come in, or oh, you're Orthodox, you can't come in, or oh, because we're Protestant, yada yada yada. No, bring everybody in, everybody who has the truth, and hey, let's spread the gospel, and that's what it's about. So I feel you, DW, I feel you.
17. This was the year that the German priest Martin Luther published his 95 Theses, in which he challenged the Catholic Church on several issues. However, it can be argued that there were actually Protestants before this date, or at least proto-Protestants. A good example are the Waldensians, named after Peter Waldo.
Oh, real quick. So, Dark Nostalgia, I see you down there. I see you say that you're part of the Anglican Church. So I need you to be on, let me know if he's accurate when he starts breaking down the Anglican version of or the Anglican denomination. Let me know if he's accurate, at least to the best of your knowledge.
Who lived in the 12th century. The Waldensians lived a life of poverty and believed that anyone could preach from the Bible, not just priests. There are actually still Waldensian churches today, mostly in Italy, although nowadays they can be seen as being part of the Reformed branch of Protestantism. Another group of proto-Protestants were the Hussites, named after Jan Hus, who lived about 100 years before Luther. He sparked the Bohemian Reformation in what is today the Czech Republic. Out of this movement grew the Moravian Church, which operated underground for many decades in Moravia before moving to Germany and then spreading to the US. It too still exists to this day and has since adopted certain features of Lutheran pietism. But originally, neither the Waldensians nor the Moravians were large enough to change the religious landscape of Europe. That didn't happen until the 1500s, when people like Luther and Calvin arrived on the scene. Now, the first thing you need to know about the Protestant Reformation was that it was not a single united movement. Instead, it was a bunch of movements occurring in different places and in different ways. However, overall, we can say that the Reformation created three initial branches of Protestantism: Lutheran, Anglican, and Reformed. All three resulted in the creation of new state-level churches, which shared authority with secular rulers. There was also a fourth branch, the Anabaptists, associated with what's been called the Radical Reformation. They are quite different, though, so I'll be covering them separately in a later video.
That's next
So
episode.
let's start with the Lutherans, who obviously get their name from Martin Luther. 4 years after Luther published his 95 Theses, the Catholic Church declared him to be a heretic and put a ban on sharing his ideas. Those ideas can be summed up with the phrases sola fide and sola scriptura. Sola fide means by faith alone. You see, Luther was angry that certain Catholic priests were abusing something called indulgences. Basically, if you or a relative had committed a bad sin, you could just pay money to the church and get a special certificate that said if you do such and such a good deed, your punishment in the afterlife will be reduced. Protestants argue that the only thing that makes a person right with God is having faith in Jesus, not doing good works. Sola scriptura means by scripture alone. According to Protestants, the Bible is the ultimate authority, not
All right, man. Let me know in the comments. I don't want it to get spicy though. I do not want it to get spicy though. I just want to hear what you guys think because this is something that I've been on my journey when it comes to this learning and growing that I've been struggling with when it comes to faith alone or with the works. uh, I I can see both sides, and I think both sides kind of blend together. That's where I'm at. Again, I'm a big copper outer when it comes to having this understanding. So I believe where I'm at right now that by you having faith and by you having true faith, then you would then do the work. So that's where I'm at, and I believe that if you don't have faith, and if you're one of these people that just say, "Oh, well, I believe in God and yada yada yada," but do absolutely nothing that has been commanded of us, then you probably really never had faith at all in first place. So that's kind of where I'm at, my mindset. So, let me know in the comments where you guys at. What do you guys believe when it comes to it? Does sola scriptura make sense? Does it not? Again, I'm not trying to, cause any divide, but I just want to see where the mindset is for the people that believe that sola scriptura does make sense, or the ones that are like, because I also get the point where sola scriptura, like they're talking about, or at least what I think they're going to build up to, is that it didn't come about until this time, until Martin Luther, until like, already up, 1500, 1400 years after, the church has already been formed. So if I'm not mistaken, early church fathers, and this is something that I've necessarily studied so much, but if I'm not mistaken, I've heard quite a bit about the church fathers not really believing in faith alone, that they also tied in the works aspect with it. So uh, again, whether or not you're on either side, I just want to hear about where the mind is, the process comes out where you believe what you believe. Catholics believe that your salvation is based on faith that shows works. A faith without works is dead. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. I'm not mad at that. So again, I wholeheartedly believe that as well. When it comes to not having faith, you, I'm with it. Hey, pro life Chloe, what's up? Oh well, since you're here, pro life Chloe, since you're here now, and we're here, we're talking now. You say what's up. I'm gonna say what's up. Let's set up this date, man. Let's set up this date where we can have you come on and share your testimony. Now, I just want to say this though, because I was feeling bad yesterday. Still, so I seen a post not too long ago, Chloe, where you were like, "Man, school and everything's tough right now. I'm just focusing on things." So I was like, "Oh, she's focused on things. I'm not gonna press the issue." You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna press the issue. But now you're like, "Yo, let's do it." I'm like, "Bet, let's do it." So I'm on East Coast. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna inbox you. I'm just gonna inbox you, and then we'll talk about it and we'll get done. Because I've been had this, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, pro life Chloe. I've been had this. I've been waiting. I read it. I've been waiting to talk to you about it. So now that you're ready, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do no fake support. I do real support over here. So, I can't wait to hear what the good Lord has done in your life and what brought you to where you're at now. So I'm with you. I'm with you. But so I'm definitely gonna inbox you as soon as I get done with all this so we can set everything up. So by the way, if y'all don't know Pro Life Chloe, y'all need to go follow her. She's an amazing apologist. She supports the heck out of a lot of people. So man, go follow her. Carol B is up in house. What's going on, Carol? Let's get it. So again, let me know in the comments, what side you're on. Where not necessarily what side you're on, but why it is that you believe that your particular denomination's choice of this understanding makes sense to you.
the Pope or the Church or anyone else. So, like I said, Luther was made an outcast, and at first, it looked likely that the church would find some way to have him killed. However, one of the main German princes offered him protection, and then several other German princes supported his ideas as well. You see, you have to realize that there was no such thing as a united Germany at the time. Instead, the whole area consisted of a bunch of mostly independent states that formed a loose union called the Holy Roman Empire. So, what happened was that some states adopted Luther's ideas and some did not, starting around 1521. Now, one thing I want to make clear is that the new Protestant states did not shut down all the Catholic churches and open new Lutheran ones. Priests and churches that were previously Catholic simply became Lutheran, and more reforms and changes were implemented over time. Two of the earliest German states to embrace Lutheranism were Saxony and Hesse. They eventually formed a military alliance called the Schmalkaldic League to
That sounds like a
defend
clothing
themselves
store.
against the
I
Catholic
ain't gonna
emperor.
hold you.
During the 1530s, the three main Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, aligned themselves with Lutheranism as well, cutting ties with the papacy and creating state churches instead. To this day, these three churches are still the largest churches in their respective countries, although the only one that is still an official state church is the Church of Denmark. Now, if we zoom forward about 300 years to the time just after Napoleon's defeat, we get the formation of the Prussian Union of Churches in 1817. At this point, Prussia, which was Lutheran, was now the dominant German state, and it ended up annexing a bunch of smaller German states, some of which had been Calvinist, which we'll be discussing in a bit. So basically, the Lutheran churches and the Calvinist churches were merged together to form a single denomination. Now, not everyone was happy about this, especially on the Lutheran side, because some felt that their beliefs were going to have to be watered down in order to accommodate the Calvinists. So during the remainder of the 1800s, there was a quite large migration of German Lutherans to the American Midwest. Initially, there were dozens of different Lutheran councils and synods in the US, some Danish, some Swedish, some Norwegian, and some German. But over time, the various church groups merged so that by the 1960s, there were just three major Lutheran denominations: the American Lutheran Church, the Lutheran Church in America, and the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. However, during the 1970s, a controversy arose within the Missouri Synod that involved their seminary, a seminary being a place that trains clergy. Basically, the church felt that the school was becoming too liberal, so the president of the church had the president of the school fired. This led to the creation of
Oh, is this skipping for
seminaries,
y'all?
meaning seminary in exile, LCA, to form the
Oh, are we back? I think I was lagging out there for a little bit. Let me know if y'all can y'all hear me? Can y'all is everything good now? If I'm not mistaken, I was lagging crazy right there. Yeah, skipping. Am I skipping now? Are we good now? Because now I'm trying to move forward. Good. Okay, good. Phew, man. Well, I'll tell you what, these internets, man, they can't never be all right. I'm just Wi-Fi. I need to get the top-notch Wi-Fi. That's what I need to do. I just need to go ahead on and do that because man, I was over here like, oh man, I'm frozen. I'm sound like a robot. It's all bad. But hey, here we go now. Here we go.
Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. So nowadays, there are two main Lutheran denominations in the US. There's the more conservative Lutheran Church Missouri Synod and the more liberal Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, which to many people is a bit confusing because in the US, the word evangelical is generally associated with conservatives. However, in a Lutheran context, it simply means Protestant. So just keep that in mind. Now, there is a third Lutheran denomination in the US known as the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod, but it's quite a bit smaller than the other two. Generally speaking, it's even more conservative than the Missouri Synod. Now, back to the Lutherans in Germany. During World War II, the majority of the Prussian churches supported the Nazis, due in large part to a movement known simply as German Christians. Martin Luther himself had been very anti-Semitic, so it wasn't hard for the German Christians to use his writings to support their cause. However, not all Lutherans in Germany were pro-Nazi. The Lutherans who opposed Hitler, led by Dietrich Bonhoeffer and others, eventually broke away and formed the Confessing Church, although Bonhoeffer
Yo, they could have picked a better picture, man. That dude's head. What is going on right there? How you gonna have a his head is actually glitching like I was a few minutes ago. That's what's going on. That's not a good picture. Y'all need to get a better picture of that man. But Hakpath, Hakpath. Uh, you said, Albert, you make Islamic videos. Go have a discussion. Cool. What's his Dawo Vidania? Now, if I go over there and have a discussion with him, and he tries to do, I'm not saying he does because I don't know who the brother is, so I don't know, anything about anything that he may do. But if he does anything like any other Muslims I've seen, where you go over there and they try to control everything, if I just got a couple questions, if he can answer them, cool. I had no issue with that. So, uh, let me know, Hakpath, is that his YouTube, Dawo Vidania, and let me know when he goes live. Ain't nothing to ask a question. Ain't nothing to have a discussion. You know what I'm saying?
himself was eventually captured and sent to a concentration camp, where he was later executed shortly before the end of the war. After the war, the Prussian church was reunited and purged of Nazi supporters. In 1948, several other German state churches joined together to form the Evangelical Church in Germany, or EKD. Initially, the Prussian church, now known as the Evangelical Church of the Union, remained separate, but in 2004 it joined the EKD as well. Today, the EKD, which consists of both Lutherans and Calvinists, is the largest Protestant denomination in continental Europe. The second largest Lutheran denomination worldwide is actually the Makane Jesus Church in Ethiopia, which was founded by Swedish missionaries. Let's now look at the Anglicans. First of all, I should mention that some people don't actually consider Anglicans to be Protestants. They actually see them as being a sort of middle position instead, between Catholicism and Protestantism. This is because on the surface, their overall structure and traditions often look a lot like Catholicism. And when it comes to their beliefs, they don't really have a founding theologian, such as Luther or Calvin. But considering that the Anglicans split from Rome around the same time as the Lutheran and Reformed branches, I think it is fair to say that they are indeed a type of Protestantism. Now, the main church in this branch was and still is the Church of England.
Yo, shout out to Black Doctor. If y'all don't know, Black Doctor is Anglican, and man, he'll let you know loud and proud. Loud and proud. Submit to England. That's what that brother would say. So, Anglican, I ain't going front. If I were to, because right now I go to a Protestant church. I love the church. They really do good stuff with the community, and it's really good family type church. So I really enjoy that church. But if I were to want to seek another route, it would probably be Orthodoxy or Anglican. I really like the how well, at least how I hear from Black Doctor anyway, how he breaks it down and what it is that why they believe what they believe and kind of how they still have the same beliefs as like this brother's talking about right now, the Catholic Church, but just not necessarily as with the quote unquote negative side that goes to it. So, if I were to switch, it'd either be Anglican or Orthodox, just because I don't know, there's something that just is grabbing me, and if I were to anyway, I would go there.
You're probably familiar with the story of King Henry VIII and his 6 wives, and how he argued with the Pope over whether or not he could get out of his first marriage, because it had not resulted in a son. Because the Pope would not help him, Henry decided to break ties with the Catholic Church. And
Yes, you do. Church is very, very important. Radar Apologetics is a big proponent of getting in with the community and having people that can hold you accountable. So yes, I agree with him wholeheartedly. Church is important, DW. Get in there, get you one that you can hold, yourself and also others accountable. So get you a church, brother. Get you a church. But appreciate you for being honest and putting it out there like that.
have himself declared the head of the church in his country instead. This occurred in 1534, and hence that's the date that's usually given for the birth of the Church of England. Now, again, I want to point out that it's not as if all the Catholic churches in England were simply shut down in 1534 or that new Anglican ones were established. Not at all. The same churches and the same priests actually just continued on as usual. The only difference was that they no longer reported to the Pope. For a long time, the most senior Catholic bishop in England had been the Archbishop of Canterbury. Therefore, when the Church of England broke away
That's
from
nice.
Rome, the Archbishop of Canterbury became the new spiritual leader of the church. Currently, that person is Justin Welby. But please note, the Archbishop of Canterbury is by no means the Pope of the Anglican Church. Like the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople, he's more of a first among equals. The actual head of the Church of England is whoever the monarch of the United Kingdom is. So currently, that person is Charles III. Now, at the time that the Church of England broke away, the King of England was also the King of Ireland. So around the same time, the Church of Ireland came under the control of the English king as well. But unlike in England, most of the Irish remained loyal to the Pope. So what happened was that from 1536 to 1869, the Anglican Church of Ireland was the state church, even though Protestantism was the minority religion. Nowadays, most of Ireland is a republic, and there's no state church, and most of the Irish are still Catholics. Wales, by the 1500s, was simply a part of England, so they came under the Church of England. Although I should point out that in 1920, an independent church in Wales was formed. When it comes to Scotland, well, that's actually a whole other story, which we'll get to in a bit. Now, as the English started to develop colonies all over the world, they took Anglicanism with them. Initially, churches in colonies were simply part of the Church of England, but over time they gained independence. Of special note is the Episcopal Church in the USA. Basically, when the American colonies split away from Great Britain, the Anglican Church there split away as well, becoming known as the Episcopal Church. Episcopal meaning led by bishops. Over time, the Anglican churches in South Africa, Canada, Australia, etc. became independent as well, so that today, rather than just the Church of England, there are now 42 autonomous churches that together form the Anglican Communion. After the Church of England, the two largest are actually the Church of Nigeria and the Church of Uganda. And I should note that altogether, the Anglican Communion is currently the third largest division within Christianity, the largest being Catholicism and the second largest being Eastern Orthodoxy.
Hey, yo, shout out to the Anglicans, bro. They out here. They out here doing it big. I didn't even know all that. I did not know the Anglicans were doing their thing. By the way, Chris, if you're still watching, Christopher, if you're still watching, let me know. What's your thoughts on the Reformation and the break with respect to your denomination? What's your thoughts on that? Because I want to know. I want to know. You're the one who had me. You're the one who told me about these videos and the information that's in them. So I want to know what you think too, brother. If you're still watching, let me know.
However, that might be about to change because it looks as though the Anglican Communion is on the verge of
Oh my
splitting in
goodness.
two.
Oh my man. Today they're trying to just get me up out of here, y'all. But we're gonna thug it out. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it do what it do. Am I good now? Am I good? Can y'all see me? Am I lagging? I know that time, yo, lag was bad. Let me see in the comments. Am I good now? Because they really just out here not letting your boy try to live. They just out here. Oh, whoops! I
Reason
didn't mean
is
to like
that
that.
most of the leadership in the Western churches, in places like the UK, US, Canada, and Australia, support blessings for same sex couples, whereas most of the leadership in the rest of the world do not. So, for example, the Church of Uganda and the Church of Nigeria are part of an organization called the Global South Fellowship of Anglican Churches. Just a few weeks ago, in February of 2023, they voted to no longer recognize the Archbishop of Canterbury as their spiritual leader. So it's yet to be seen whether the Global South Fellowship will leave the Anglican Communion altogether or whether some other resolution will occur. And I should point out that there are even some conservative Anglicans in the West who are also not happy with the current communion either. So, for example, some churches belonging to the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Church of Canada have split away to form the Anglican Church in North America, which is in communion with the Global South Fellowship, but not with Canterbury. Okay, let's now look at the Reformed branch, which is strongly associated with the French theologian John Calvin. In fact, the word Reformed is often used interchangeably with Calvinist. Now, most people associate Calvinism with its purest form, also called five-point Calvinism, and often summarized by using the acronym TULIP. However, I want to point out that there are actually several different versions of Calvinism, and that not all Calvinists hold strictly to the 5 points. Generally speaking, the main difference between Calvinism and other forms of Christian theology is that Calvinists believe in some sort of predestination, meaning that some people are destined for salvation and some people are not. But in this video, we're mostly concerned with,
And this is why I split, y'all. And this is why I split right here. Right here. I'm not, see, I get where they get their understanding from. I get it. I've seen people break it down. I've seen the verses that they use to explain, that understanding. I get that. But man, sometimes it's hard to understand. Sometimes it's hard to grasp. Not hard to understand, excuse me, hard to grasp. So this is why I was saying earlier, I take from the Protestants, I take from the Orthodox, I take from the Catholics, I take from all these and put it into one pot. And maybe again that's copping out, but some of these things are just man, I just can't really get with all the way. I can't necessarily I used to be a Calvinist full on, but then the more that I'm just looking into it, the more that I'm getting that understanding, it's like, man, I can't do it. And it hurts my heart too, because I respect like people like Dr. James White. Man, I love hearing what they got to say. I love when they teach, I love when they preach, and I get so much. But then when it's just certain things I just can't, I'm not on that side with. I'm not quite there, you know what I'm saying? But I get it though. I get it. But ultimately I'm still with the camp that, if you believe in the foundation of what Christianity is, you'll be all right. If you just believe in the foundation, that whether it's predestined or not, hey, if I'm, saved and I'm doing what it is that God told me to do, uh, and commanded me to do, hey, I might as well I guess you could say I'm predestined, I guess. But there's some things. But with that being said, also shout out to Anthony Rogers, because if I'm not mistaken, he's a Presbyterian. He is a Presbyterian. So shout out to that brother. And also, real quick, tomorrow I'll be going live reviewing Anthony Rogers and Sean Griffin's first debate. Now, a couple days ago, I reviewed and went over his second debate with him about the Trinity doctrine and if the Trinity is in the Bible. Whooped him, cooked him. Anthony Rogers destroyed Sean Griffin. I didn't have much time because it was early in the morning, so I couldn't necessarily finish it all. But tomorrow, same time as today, planning on finishing their full and going over their full debate. If the Father has a body, I was told it was hilarious that they was going back and forth with jabs and made it real funny. It's kind of ignorant. I like kind of ignorant stuff, so I'm just gonna just throw that out there. So shout out to Anthony Rogers, Presbyterian. We're gonna be watching that tomorrow. So if y'all ain't got nothing to do, or y'all just want to come hang out with your boy, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. But with that being said, let's just get back into the video.
denominations, not theology. So let's now look at the Reformed tree. Although the Reformed movement started in Switzerland, one of the main places where it really took hold was in the Netherlands. In 1571, the Dutch Reformed Church was established, and for over 400 years, it was the main Protestant church in the lowlands, also spreading to other countries wherever Dutch settlers traveled, such as South Africa. In 1892, there was a major schism in the Dutch Reformed Church, resulting in the creation of the Reformed churches in the Netherlands. However, in 2004, they merged back together with the main church, along with a few Dutch Lutherans, to form the Protestant Church in the Netherlands. In France, those who embraced Calvinism became known as Huguenots. However, in France, Protestants remained the minority and were often persecuted. They do still exist, though, and most of them now belong to a denomination called the United Protestant Church of France. Which brings us to the Church of Scotland, which ended up following a very different path than that of the Church of England. There, a theologian named John Knox led Scotland to embrace Calvinism, as well as a type of church government in which groups of presbyters or elders make decisions. Thus, this branch of Reformed Christianity became known as Presbyterianism. It spread to Ireland and then also to the American colonies, where eventually the Presbyterian Church of the USA was formed. Because of the nature of Presbyterian church governance, there were a lot of splits and mergers within American Presbyterianism. I won't show most of them. However, I do want to point out that because of the U.S. Civil War, the church was pretty much split in two in 1861, resulting in a new Southern-based denomination called the PCUS. That division stayed in place until 1983, when the two parts were merged back together to form the Presbyterian Church USA. However, a decade before the merger, a group of conservatives split away from the PCUS to form the Presbyterian Church in America. Another type of Christianity that is associated with Calvinism is Congregationalism. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the English Puritans and Separatists, who were among the first Europeans to settle in America. They had a theology similar to the Presbyterians, but had an even more democratic form of church governance. Basically, in Congregationalism, every local church is independent and can make its own decisions. Several of the early American colonies had Congregationalism as their official state religion, including Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. In fact, three famous Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, and Dartmouth, were all founded by Congregationalists. Over time, though, other denominations eclipsed Congregationalism in the US, so that nowadays it's actually one of the lesser-known branches of Protestantism. In 1957, the largest Congregationalist denomination merged with the ENR Church, which was a mixed Lutheran Reformed church, to form the United Church of Christ. Okay, so that's where we're going to end this episode. In about 3 weeks' time, I'll be releasing episode 4, in which we'll mostly be looking at the Anabaptists and Baptists, two groups with similar names but very different histories. For now, I encourage you to check out the video by Ready to Harvest, in which he dives deeper into some of the differences between Moravians, Lutherans, Anglicans, and Reformed. Thanks for watching.
Oh, no, thank you, brother. Useful charts, y'all. Useful charts. And they do amazing job when it comes to just talking about anything, charting anything. I've seen videos where they're talking about the history of the Bible, which that'd actually be pretty cool to get into and listen to. That'd be pretty sweet. But so that was episode 3, man, talking about the Reformed, the Anglicans, and things of that nature. And I tell you what, I think it's always good to know where the church history is, whether it be the early history or, even breaking off into, 1500s and then with the Anglicans and the Presbyterians and all that. I think it's pretty cool. So shout out to Chris, by the way. He's the one who asked me to react to these videos. And again, I like learning. I like the knowledge that these people have. Alonzo Harris is back. Oh, is this that dude who's like on everybody's comment section who talks crazy? Because I think Radar tagged me in a post not too long ago, talking about some Alonzo Harris that never wants to come up and talk. Is that same dude? Let me know, man. If it is, shout out to him, man. Big comment troll. I got, man, so many comment trolls. It's ridiculous. I'm actually shocked my boy Dizzy ain't show up today, y'all. I'll tell you what, Carol, ain't it shocking that Dizzy ain't show up today? That brother is always in the comments, but today, for some odd reason, he was in the comments crazy earlier, but on the lives, he don't never show up. I'm a biblical scholar. Biblical scholar, huh? All right. Well, hey, if you say so. What, you want to come up and teach us something there, Mr. Harris? You want to come up and teach us some of your biblical knowledge so we can learn about it? I'll put the StreamYard link right in the comments so you can jump on up. I want to learn some stuff today. I ain't gonna front, I ain't gonna hold you. That's what I'm here for, to learn. That's what I'm here for, to learn. So if you got the knowledge, show it. I'm trying to get there. I'm not trying to be a biblical scholar. I don't want to go to school. I ain't gonna front. School ain't for me. School, I'll pass on that. But I think Alonzo, yeah, maybe not though. Maybe he actually wants to come up, and I'm just waiting for the okay. If he says okay, he's gonna come up. He's gonna teach us today. He's gonna come up and he's gonna teach us something. I know it. Hey y'all remember that? Did y'all see the interview with Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp? I mean, probably because that was like the biggest thing for like a while. And, Cat Williams like, yo, I run a 4.340 or 4.2 or something like that. So is that what you're trying to say, Rabbi? That Alonzo Harris is? He's a Olympic gold medalist. He won it with a broken freaking neck. Is that what he did, huh? I don't think you want to learn. Most of you refuse to learn. Brother, I just asked you to come up and share. How you gonna tell me I don't want to learn and I just asked you nicely? I just sound, that's just how I talk. I was really nice. That's true. I'm a black. Okay. He can also shoot lasers out of his eyes and has cold breath, all that fun stuff. I tell you, I tell you. He's also the fastest rapper in the world. He got that under his belt. Man, I tell you what, he can build an upside down slide, with just sticks and stones. You know what I'm saying? That's how talented that brother is right there. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Anaconda is my well, that's kind of weird, brother. We don't need to hear about your specialties like that. And you can keep the anacondas away. That's a whole other thing, brother. You can go ahead on and nah, bruh. This is a PG show. This is a PG, at times PG-13 show, and you trying to bring it X-rated. That's crazy, Mr. Harris. That's crazy. We don't want that. We don't want that. But hey, man, let me know in the comments. What did you guys think about the video? Did you guys get an understanding a little bit anyway when it comes to the Anglican Church and the different Reformed Church, Lutheran? I really wish these were a little bit longer, because what he does really good is like he gives you just enough to kind of get an understanding, but he doesn't deep dive. But he also said that we should follow this up with another video that one of his homies posted. So I might just do that as well, because I think there was a lot that was like, I mean, yeah, you're giving me dates and things of that nature, but you're not really getting into, where exactly did everything happen. Like the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first two episodes. Now it's been a minute since I've seen them. If I'm not mistaken, the first two episodes, he got into more of the issues that they had and why the split was and the schism between the Orthodox and Catholics and things of that nature. So that's what I was hoping for a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe next episode he will, because he's only going over two, so he might actually really just break down in more depth about what's going on with the Anabaptists and Baptists. So hopefully, I get to that next week. I may even do two back to back, just because, man, there's a lot of them, and I promised the homie that I was going to finish them all. So hey, I'm trying to hold up to my word and finish them all. But so we got Gwendolyn, nice. I'm assuming you're talking about the video was nice. All right, cool, cool, cool. What are your thoughts on Abraham and Isaac? Who are you asking me? Who you asking? Are you asking Alonzo Harris? Are y'all making fun of Alonzo Harris still? Brother, are you gonna come up, brother? Mr. Harris, you gonna show up and just teach us something? Teach us about who the Shiliach is. Teach us that. Teach us what the difference is between Shiliach, messenger, angel, representative. Teach us that. That's what I want to know. All those, how you differentiate those things. Oh man, thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you. I tell you what, that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy when I'm able to talk with people that are in the faith, that are able to share. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the reaction videos too, because I love, learning, because that's really what I do them for, to learn, and also to throw my little jabs in there as well and make them kind of like lighthearted at times. But that's what I really love doing. I really love hearing what God has done for people. So, for all you guys that are in the comments right now, whether you're a creator or not, if you want to share your testimony, just let me know, and I'll have you up. I'll talk with you. I want to hear the testimonies. I want to hear what God has done in your life, and how you're able to, move forward, and what He's done to change your life. That's what I want to know. So being able to hear brothers like Radar Apologetics, from where he was at to where he's at now, jail and everything like that, and addiction, and now he's a rabbi who's doing his thing on live, who's doing his thing when it comes to preaching and teaching the word. That's what I love to do. That's what I love to see. That's what I love to hear. Same thing with One Way Apologetics. By the way, shout out to Chris Claus, One Way Apologetics. He just hit 5K on the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So being able to hear his story and how like crazy that was, like, man, that was awesome. Just to see now where he's at and what he's doing for the Lord. That's what I love. And then also people like Brittany and my buddy Dame and brother Heart for Christ. So I just love hearing people's stories. So Gwendolyn, thank you for saying that. Last meet MMA or whatever. Last meet what? Me? He is supposedly by Abu Dhabi. So man, Alonzo Harris ain't gonna come up here, man. He ain't gonna come up here. He's really. I'm gonna give you one more chance, Alonzo, before I end it, and we just gonna move forward, brother. If you wanna come up here and teach us something, I promise you, I won't even attempt to debate anything. I'm just gonna listen to whatever you got to say. We're gonna go look at whatever it is that you want to say. I'll let you. I will give you this platform for you to teach us, and I'll just be here, just listening, learning. I got a notepad right here. You know what I'm saying? Right here that I will take note from, because I am not. I ain't got too much pride to know if a Bible scholar is talking. I got the notepad. I'm old school with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here. I'm ready. I don't do interviews. I only do official debates. Bro, I didn't say nothing about no debate. See, this how you, bro. You ain't listening. You is not listening. I say you come up here and just share your knowledge. You a Bible scholar. Why would you be afraid to share what it is that you got? That don't make no sense to me, man. They make no sense. If you got understanding and knowledge, don't you think you would want to come up and share that? You know what I'm saying? With someone who's asking. Now, unless you like one of them people like, yo, I charge, then okay, I ain't gonna pay you to come up here. But you know what I'm saying. But if you wanted to do it, you come on up. You know what I'm saying? Alonzo, have you trained with Tommy? I don't know how to pronounce that brother's last name. So no, you saying no, Alonzo? You're just gonna leave me up here high and dry, coming up here talking about all your biblical knowledge, and you ain't gonna share none. You ain't gonna talk that talk. Your audience doesn't have the mindset to, brother. Brother? I'm the one asking. I'm the one asking. I'm trying to learn any way I can. Whoever can teach me, that's what I'm trying to learn. I got videos while I'm listening to Shabir Ali, because I feel like he can teach me something. So I'd be a fool if I thought that Alonzo Harris, the biblical scholar that knows BJJ and who's a black belt and who won the Olympic gold medal with a broken neck and who was the world heavyweight champion from Raw from 1995 to 2014, all them years straight not losing a match. You know what I'm saying? I'd be a fool to think that. I'd be a fool to think that that brother couldn't teach me something. So and then I'm sure as you share, the people in the comments will be like, "Oh, yo, that's crazy. I didn't think of it that way." And then that's how they will get to learn. You know what I'm saying? So come on up, Alonzo. Let's talk about it. Well, see, look, I'm just gonna pen and paper. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. Alonzo Harris, you foolish chicken nugget. You foolish chicken nugget. That comes from Radar. Not me though. I'm not saying that. I believe I can learn from you, Alonzo. I believe I can learn from you, brother. So come on up, man. Come on, talk to your boy. Teach me something, Bible scholar. I'm trying to learn. Because I'm not a Bible scholar. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know. Man, I don't know nothing about nothing. Nothing about nothing. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn. Alonzo didn't come up for the 1K on my life. He won't come. He won't. It's all right though. But hey, man, shout out to Radar Apologetics, man. Shout out to that brother right there. I love this dude. Man, I love this guy. I love everything he's doing. To me, best live stream on YouTube. I mess with everything that he does. Shout out to him. Now I got to go back because he wanted to decide to record and do live all not record, excuse me, but go live all early when he usually does it late. Now I got to go back and watch the stream because he wanted to be early this time. Well, it don't make no sense. I'm trying to learn something, and he's switching the times up. He's switching the times up. Like, bruh, I tried my best to catch him, and he's like, nope, keeps me guessing, but it's all right though. It's all right. Love you as well, brother. Love you as well. He's shy like Zakir Naik. Ooh, ooh, dang, that's crazy. Radar Apologetics. I school you in 2 seconds, kid. What? Hey, yo, y'all funny. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. But hey, with that being said, man, so tomorrow we're going to be doing a full reaction to Sean Griffin and dang, what's the brother's name? Anthony Rogers. There we go. We're going to be doing the full reaction to that same time. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be learning, if the father has a body or not, see what Sean has, see what Anthony Rogers has. And I ain't going to lie to you, I ain't going to front. I'm really, I was told that they just had a roast session. So that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the last one, the roast session. Because the last one that we just watched, the last one, when they was talking about the Trinity in the Bible, that was cakewalk. That was a cakewalk for Anthony Rogers. That was really bad. So if the first one is, funny, that's what I'm looking for. Because I really don't think I'm going to learn much from Sean when it comes to his particular beliefs or, what he would have to bring to that particular debate. So I'm just going to be in it for the last, you know what I'm saying? But man, I love you guys so very much for pulling up. I appreciate you guys for being in the comments. Hopefully, you guys were able to learn something about the church history from the useful charts. Again, probably look for next week potentially when I react to the next episodes. But also be on the lookout for the interview with Pro Life Chloe. That's probably gonna be my next testimony that I have on the channel. So man, be on the lookout for that, and I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know. But with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys. This has been your boy, Scripture Plug Albert. I'll catch y'all next time, and I am out. Love y'all.